Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you to this daily Hindu analysis video. These videos they come in the morning and in the evening the PIV videos they come, and the PDFs I upload on Telegram channel of StudyIQ and on my Facebook group, that is Amit Sani group for IAS preparation. So there you will get all these PDFs. And today is 1st of February, January is gone, so very fast the time is moving, and it is the do or die situation for you people now. And many things you need to take care of: your health, your consistency, and your ability, your ability to work in stress. That is the most important one, and most important that perseverance would be the key. And what is going to be the enemy? That is the other P, that is procrastination. Don't procrastinate. Whatever you need to do, just do it now. You just develop this ability till the exam times, that whenever you think about something urgent, something necessary, you will get up from the bed and you will do that thing at the same time. You will not procrastinate. Otherwise these lax attitude words like not sure, someday, tomorrow, perhaps, not yet, another day, later, one day, in the future, all these are going to kill your dream. That's a simple statement. Okay, now these pen drive courses by StudyIQ, these are going to help in this condition. And whatever exam you are preparing for, these are static portion based courses created by experts and selected people. So call on this number and bring them to your home and sit and study. Okay, and these are words I found today in today's newspaper. Try them in the sentences and the editorials today. You see, very important editorial came yesterday when National Security Advisor C. Rangarajan talked about the issue of challenges before India. And today's article is talking about, it is actually extending that challenging scenario. It is talking about the defense technology and our preparation in this particular area, how much advanced we have become, or what kind of attitude, whether it is good or it's a lax attitude, it's a lackluster attitude. That is the article is talking about. It is very important from the GS paper 3, GS paper 2 point of view, and it's also important as an essay topic because it is talking about the advancement in the military technology. So that's why. Now see, heading towards strategic instability. Why instability? Because strategic sense, we all need power, we all need dominance, we all need leadership role, and we need a positivity when strategic things are in favor of for us, but these things are not in favor much. That's why the factor of instability appears. You see, in late 18, it is a positive move when government decided to set up 3 new agencies. What are these agencies? Defense Cyber Agency, Defense Space Agency, and Special Operation Division. Okay, and the command is given to different forces. This Special Operation Division would be taken by Army, and this Defense Space Agency would be taken by Air Force, and Navy would be taking care of Defense Cyber Agency. Okay, so that's important. Now see, the problem is with the constitution and problem is with the ignored recommendations. The recommendation that narration the task force and chief of staff's committee that gave to government, but they are ignoring a lot of them. And you see, they suggested formation of 3 separate joint commands for them, but now this is not happening, and the constitution has become a big challenge. And now the question remains that how much prepared we are because of this lackluster response to major futuristic challenges. What are the challenges? We discussed that China is spending more than 2.2% of its GDP for R&D sector. USA has been doing it for decades now, and stealth technologies and unimaginably fast artificial intelligence based, machine learning based, and futuristic technology like 3D printing based advancements are happening for decades now. And these new technologies like AI, machine learning, and this 3D, these are game changers, and they can do anything. They can make anything impossible as possible. And where we are standing, what are our integration to these technologies into our defense systems? That's a big question. So is India adequately prepared for these new age wars? Because you see, you just suppose if any army, suppose USA army is out of ammunition, and they are printing ammunition in the 3D printers, and that's totally possible today. They are building 3D guns in their 3D printers, so they are never out of ammunition, never out of these weapons. You suppose that condition, that is unimaginably advanced condition. And in this advanced warfare time, how much prepared we are, that's the biggest question. You see, in high-tech innovation revolution, it is we will be calling in military affairs, because attention of strategic analysts and policy planners, that is totally focused on these new upgradations and these new technologies. Although it's unethical, it is unethical, because science was supposed to be used in the progressive development of humans and positive development of humans, and it should have been used in medical sciences and all these things. But now openly countries are pressured to integrate that scientific technology in these defense systems, because the wars are escalating. And you see, nuclear weapons, it is not possible for the countries to use nuclear weapons, because these are weapons of mass destruction, and any country would use the nuclear weapon, then certainly it is going to be the total destruction of the humanity, because that war is not going to be stopped. Okay, it is going to be enormous emotional burst. If many people are killed at one strike, then the other country would again strike back. So that's the problem with nuclear weapons. So they are focusing on non-nuclear weapons, but these are highly sophisticated and advanced weaponry. Okay, and that is the game changer. They are focusing now that below the level of nuclear war escalation, how much destruction we can do. And even they are thinking about debilitating the enemy country in terms of its nuclear stockpile. And the second strike, what is second strike? When one nuclear strike happens, after that in retaliation that country strikes back. So this strike back should not happen. We should debilitate the country in this power. So there they are focusing, and they are focusing with the help of these artificial intelligence and machine learning based weaponry. That's happening. You see, these deep sea drones, these are happening to find and locate these hidden nuclear arms in the deep ocean, which are located by countries. Okay, so now these things are going to be open because of the use of artificial intelligence. Okay, so now a lot of amount of frustration and mismanagement, confusion is going to erupt, because these things are spontaneous. You see, they are using hypersonic gliders. What is hypersonic? The speed of sound is 333 meter per second. Anything below that speed is subsonic, and anything matching to this particular speed is having speed of Mach 1, and more than that it's hypersonic. And this hypersonic gliders, they may go up to 7 to 20 Machs. That's enormous speed, unimaginable speed. Within a second this thing will disappear from your eyes. So you see, when these kind of technologies are upgraded in these developed countries like China, Russia and USA, where we are standing, these are unprecedented capabilities that these systems offer. Okay, an increased focus on developing suitable command and control, this is the prime need here. Means these technologies are inevitable now, but we what is the bigger need here? Bigger need is the command and control and a doctrinal control of these weaponry, and that is going to be the part of the constitution of these agencies. And that constitution itself is a problem for India. That is the issue, because they are not considering many recommendations given by expert committees. Okay, so that's a lackluster attitude we are showing as a country. Always our defense decisions are civil service dominated, and our defense acquisitions are always a problem. And we are fighting for Rafale, we are fighting for Tejas, we are fighting for HL Dhruv and all for many years, and things are not settled. So what we can expect today, we are lacking in the traditional warfare if we are comparing it with the China or other countries. And now these countries are in a race of this advanced military warfare, and where we are lacking in a lot of issues. You see, we don't have any issue of less capability or less courage and less guidance. These capabilities are there with us, but the issue of investment in these technologies, the issue of focusing on recommendations and being concerned and sincere about the military upgradation of the developed countries with whom we are comparing ourselves economy wise. So alone economy and alone other international platform based image is not gonna help. Here these are crucial issues. They can defeat us, and you see in very less time they can defeat us. These kind of technologies which are spontaneous, within seconds they are going to attack, within second we need to take decisions. So where we are standing, that is the trouble. You see, when they are thinking about these attack on the second strike after first attack, and anyhow they want to debilitate it. These developed countries I'm talking about, they want to debilitate this move of the nuclear weapon states like India, Pakistan, or any other country. Okay, so the biggest issue always is there that all these countries, they use these nuclear weapons as a security barrier. The way we can take the example of Pakistan country. Pakistan would say that nobody is going to attack us because we have nuclear weapons. But now if these technologies are going to disrupt these command control and these second strike ability of these countries, okay, if we talk about the nuclear attack, then if that is not possible for these countries, then certainly we are very much vulnerable. And we don't possess these qualities for other nations, but other developed nations like China, Russia, and USA, they can disrupt our nuclear stockpile. They can find them, locate them with these technologies. So that's a very sensitive issue. Okay, always we think that the naval leg of nuclear triad. What is nuclear triad? When we have nuclear missiles with the Navy and Air Force and military. So that's nuclear triad. So the Navy one is always most secure because these are located in deep ocean and nobody knows about them apart from the Navy. But if these technologies they can find it, then certainly it is going to be a huge issue. These are disruptive in nature, and this arrival of these technologies is going to frustrate the established system of countries like India. You can see this is just like the movies, Hollywood movies, and the video games that we play. And you see, these are unimaginable warfare techniques, and these are certainly going to be real within some years. Okay, so how much prepared we are? You see, when USA's withdrawal happened from this intermediate range nuclear force treaty, then it is starting a race, a very dangerous race of this potential arm gaining and the development in these stealth technologies and artificial intelligence based technologies. So this race is not going to stop because the countries like China, Russia, USA, France and all, these are going to create havoc on the world if they are engaged in some kind of warfare with some other country, because these are very much efficient technologies, and India is not totally ready for these warfares. We have just started these agencies, and how they are going to work, that is again a trouble, because the doctrinal control is somewhat difficult in India, because decision making is always lackluster in defense area of India. So that's a problem. Okay, now see, it is imperative for states to redesign their systems, because in the light of new technologies, especially in the digital and cyber components, this also makes the cyber and digital enabled systems vulnerable to covert cyber attacks. You see, when these are internet based, satellite based systems, they can control them with that. Okay, so here cyber attacks are also a big issue, and always it is alleged that India is lacking in this cyber policy, these cyber laws, and these are not robust. If these kind of technology we acquire, if these things are developed, even after that we have trouble with the cyber laws and cyber security, and that's a Achilles heel for India. Even in our social media landscape and all these issues of cyber security, we don't have a robust system. And we are always waiting, we are always demanding these issues, but these things are not focused much by the government. That is the trouble. So if these things are connected with the defense technology, then certainly it can be very dangerous. And you see, when we need to make spontaneous judgments within these uncontrolled situations, where within seconds these systems, they can attack us. So what we are going to do, because it is changing the whole system of long planning and making military strategies, that is not going to happen now, because these are going to be within seconds. So that's our issue. Next, risk of intentional and inadvertent nuclear use. You see, intentional and inadvertent nuclear use. What is this risk? The issue is that when somebody suddenly attacked and the attack is very severe and they are trying to debilitate your nuclear command or your nuclear attack ability, then certainly the countries, they don't think much. Any country would not be able to think much, and suddenly they would apply their nuclear stockpile and they would try to attack the other country, because no option is available if the technologies are not upgraded with the attacked country. Okay, so India can be that country which may be attacked, so India would not have this chance to think about it, so they will try to attack with the nuclear weapons. So any country is having this risk now, so the risk is rising for the nuclear warfare because of these disruptive technologies. Okay, so that is again an issue, and these scenarios are unlikely but not improbable. Possibility is there, maybe it is less than 10%, 5% or 1%, but it is certainly there. So both China and Russia, now they are fearing that new American long range non-nuclear strike capabilities. Non-nuclear, I'm focusing here, okay, because nuclear warfare is extreme, so they are developing advanced technologies below that level. So non-nuclear strike capabilities could be used to deliver a disarming attack on the substantial part of their strategic force, China and Russia's force, or decapitate their nuclear command and control. So that's the fear these countries have, the China and Russia, and we discussed yesterday that they are on a good equation these days. Okay, China and Russia, and certainly it's a new Cold War. Whether we take the area of space, whether we take the area of military, everywhere this is going through a new Cold War between USA and China, Russia combinedly. Okay, so they are being aware about it. US would mop up most of the remainders before their warhead could do any damage. So these kind of apprehensions these countries have, and they are ready for this. But how much ready we are about them? You see, many times China has said this. Even it alerted India during the Doklam issue that we are not caring much about India. We are not in a direct confrontation. Our main rival is USA. So don't push us. Otherwise, you won't be able to retaliate here if we are going to coming in a direct confrontation with India. And certainly at some level this thing is perfectly true, because India is a no match for China today. China is way advanced today, and the main rival is USA. So the fight is real between these big countries, and India is lacking in a lot of capabilities. And you see, we have seen so shameful things in the recent past, that when HL employees are not getting paid and Air Force has not paid to its contractors, and also these kind of things are really shameful. So what leave about are these advanced measures. So these are realities. An attack against one's command and control system, or a disabling strike against strategic arsenal using new technology solution is likely to dominate the strategic mindscape of mindspace of great powers. These great powers, they are now thinking only about these advanced warfare techniques, and what kind of developments can be there in the future, and what kind of technologies are being focused, whether it's 3D printing, whether it's AI, whether it's ML, machine learning, anything, because things are revolving around them. And they are, you see, they are developing neural networks, and these artificial nodes are being created all over the world. They are doing the big data analytics. So these are very advanced things. Okay, so they are thinking in this direction. So that's why their mindspace is totally focused on it. Okay, now we need to see, in all this situation where we are standing, this will concern New Delhi a lot. Okay, the China's capabilities are certainly concerning New Delhi, and Beijing in the leading position in emerging technologies, and our capabilities are no match today. And you see, China's focus, as I told you, is totally on US capabilities today. It is not focusing on India, and that's why we cannot compare India, and it is going to create a dilemma. Now see what's going to happen. India would also try to go further in this technological advancement at its own level. How much investment we can make, that's a different issue, but certainly we would go in this direction. And what is going to happen after that? The foolish country like Pakistan, which is struggling with a lot of issues, now it will compete with us anyhow. That is not the case that they will care about their own capabilities, their own funds, their own economic issues, they won't care about it. If India is developing some weaponry, certainly they would want to try it. You see, in the case of nuclear trials and all, very next day it also did this experiment. So that's the case with Pakistan. So it is going to create a havoc in Pakistan also, that how they are going to manage it, but certainly they will try to manage it. So this region is also going to be unstable, and when it is about the non-nuclear weaponry advancement, then certainly it is going to be a very dangerous thing for the region like India and Pakistan's this security issue scenario and all. Okay, next, India's naval platforms, are they sufficiently prepared to face the new age wars? That the question remains. And you see, the synergy between these Air Force, Army and Navy, that would be required a lot, because these important organizations or these forces are given this particular responsibility to run these new agencies, which are advanced level military warfare agencies. Okay, and they are going to develop these technologies in the future, so they will have certainly some plans. So there a lot of decision making would be required. So the synergy between these three, these tri-service synergy would be required, and it would be of ultimate importance. If we are going to ignore this and we are going with the same type of procedures, same type of decision making, and sometimes there are ego conflicts between these bodies. So if this thing continues, then certainly India would be vulnerable a lot. Okay, so this is all about it in this article. Next article is regarding the Northeast and the Citizenship Amendment Bill. You see, Northeast groups and all these political groups, they are uniting again against this Citizenship Amendment Bill. You see, this is so sensitive an issue that they can sacrifice their own political gains for that, because Northeast is a very sensitive area and very notorious groups are there. And you see, this issue has become so hugely political that all parties are going to jump into it, because the center is being opposed here, because this amendment bill is on religious lines, and these people, these indigenous people from the Northeast, they are not going to allow nobody, whether it's Muslim or other non-Muslim category, they are not going to allow anyone, because they want to preserve their indigenous communities. And this issue was there in 1985 when this Assam Accord was signed, and now the high level committee under Mr. Bez Barua, we have seen that was declared recently. And from 1979 to 85, a lot of escalation happened, many deaths happened because of this same issue, the preservation of the indigenous communities. So they are not going to let it go like this, and certainly they are opposing. So it is going to be a big tension for the government in this election season, and it's a very sensitive issue. So it's all on a political line, so it's not very important for us. Many other articles would come on this issue, which will be important from the exam point of view. Okay, so we will discuss them that day. And the article that we had discussed this, I think, because in the Hindi lesson I left this issue yesterday, but we had discussed it yesterday already. Okay, so we would proceed now. And you see, it's a question for you people. Go through this map, and I have given one question today regarding the Pacific Rim of Fire. Find all these sensitive areas of earthquake and volcanism, and you see many volcanoes erupted this year in Indonesia and in Japan, and these are sensitive areas. Okay, so all around this Pacific Ocean, I have given this question today. Okay, so that's a important thing. Next data is center hikes scholarships. You see, it is the lowest hike since 2010. The GRF, SRF, these scholarships for these PhD students, okay, they are being increased by 25%, and that is below 25%. And the students were protesting a lot all over India, and they were demanding at least 56% of rise, but these are only given 25%. And in 2010, after that 2014, and now in 2018, after 5 years, this is being raised. And this is the lowest hike these students are saying, because only 25% is the rise. Last time it was more than 40% and 50%. So that's why it's a problem. And we had already discussed the issue that in the R&D sector, in the labs, in the research, how much we are investing, that's a huge issue. And here we are lacking a lot. and the brain drain is continuous. All brilliant students are going to the developed nations, developed countries, and they are not finding any great opportunity here in India. And here, if this kind of scene is there, where these PhD scholars and all, and these students who are laborious, who teach also in these universities and all to make their earning. So this issue is certainly a dark spot on our approaches, and we are not appreciating our researchers, our scholars, and this thing is evident here. So it's a problem. But you see, it's also a situation where many students are not sincere about their research projects and all, and they take it as a salary, and they are big in number, which are not doing any serious research. But who are doing these serious researches, those students are certainly frustrated. Okay, and you see already the situation is like permanent employment is not there, not many vacancies are there in the universities. So it's a huge issue. And the streams like arts, anthropology, and other life sciences and all, they don't see much permanent vacancies. Vacancies are only there with the mathematics, physics, and all these kind of conventional subjects. So it's a huge issue that is going on. Next, the prelim fact. You see in this picture, these are the pictures from a same day where we were remembering Mahatma Gandhi on his 71st death anniversary, and we were giving him a salute of Martyrs Day. And in this picture, this lady is shooting the effigy of Mahatma Gandhi. You see, many times out of political regions and in protest, people burn effigies and all. But you see, this is the effigy of Mahatma Gandhi, and Mahatma Gandhi is a icon for India. He is not a national representative or some kind of a national personality. He was a global person, a global leader, and you see his contribution was for humanity, total humanity. He was not focusing much on freedom. He was focusing more on the local governance and a better environment and positive thinking among masses and a progressive approach of the governments and the people and local level decentralization of power. He was focusing more on this issue more than the freedom, because he said freedom is not of much importance to me if these things are not sold, if these things are not there in India, in the future India, independent India, then I don't need freedom. So this person was really magical, and he is one of those persons on whose personality maximum number of researches are there. You see, researches are done by Indian people and mainly foreigners, mainly scholars, academicians, and think tanks. They have observed the personality of Gandhi. They have discussed Gandhi in many formats, in many angles. But you see the condition of India today. They are trying to shoot the icon who has shown the path of peace and the path of sustainability and the path of progress to this world. Because you see, we discussed the issue of this advanced warfare and also where we are moving, that these are really unethical things, and certainly we don't need these kind of escalations, because the world is going to be destroyed. The man himself is going to destroy this humanity and whatever he has achieved. So these distractions, these negative things, these demon is inside us. We don't have to appreciate that. That was the thing that Gandhi told us, and Gandhi told us that peace is the only path for a sustainable future, for the survival of humanity. And that's why he was on the front page of 1930 Times magazine as the most important person of the world at that time. So it was not his ahimsa slogan or his satyagraha abilities. It was his approach towards humanity, towards the world. That was important, and that's why most of the leaders of this world, they are influenced by his personality. And here you see what is happening. So this is the real picture of India, that what is happening today, in which way we are moving, which way our thinking is going on. So this is utter foolishness, and that's why in Sanskrit say vinash kale viprit buddhi. That's totally applicable here. You see, India is known because of Gandhi. Otherwise, there would be a huge difference in India's image. In India's image of India's slogan of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Nobody is going to believe that if Gandhi would not have been here. So Gandhi is not a personality. He is a complete message or a light for this world. And that's why Gandhi always said, my life is a message. I don't give any message today. So that's the thing. Now we need to see where we are going. Now Navy's projects 75I. You see, it's a submarine project. Always remember this. And it's related to India's Navy. You see, Kalvari class project was there, which is being carried out by DCNS France. Okay, a lot of issues came 2-3 years back when some details were revealed for this DCNS and the Kalvari class submarines and all. So it is the follow-up of it only, this project 75A, where 6 submarines are being developed. Okay, 6 advanced submarines. So now they are they have cleared strategic partnership model, SP model, for the defense procurement procedure. In this, one private strategic partner would be there from India, Indian private strategic partner, and it will tie up with the foreign manufacturer. So that's important here. And in the same way, a lot of issues, a lot of controversies are there with the Rafale. So this SNP model is going to be controversial, and big articles are certainly going to come in on this issue. Okay, so we will discuss that. Next, after a big change again, yesterday we had a news that it is going to be the full budget, and now they have announced after the all parties meet that it is only going to be the interim budget and only important bills would be taken. And I have given you the definition of interim budget vote on account yesterday. Okay, and 48 bills are listed, but some are controversial like triple talaq and all, and some bills which are important, which are missing. These are women's reservation bill that Rajya Sabha has already cleared, but this is not taken up in these 48 bills. So it is going to be controversial again, I think, because 240 minutes are given for 48 bills. So these are less than 5 minutes per bill. So it's going to be a challenge for the parliament, and certainly many issues are not going to be discussed. Now a funny issue and a very serious issue also. Another judge exits case on CBI chief, Mr. Nageshwara Rao. His appointment as a new CBI chief is very controversial because the allegation is that he is a favorite of government, and that's why they have chosen this person. And now allegations and petitions are there in the Supreme Court, and now the judges of Supreme Court, even the CJI, they have taken a leave. They are not gonna face this particular issue. They want to have their face off from this particular petition. First, it was Chief Justice Ranjan Gogoi who was the first to bow out from the hearing. Ranjan Gogoi, who is the present CJI, and he referred this case to Justice Sikri. Then again, his recusal came on the very morning of the day, on an inconclusive meeting on the high-powered committee to pick a new CBI chief. Second person was Sikri. Third person now is Justice Ramana, who is in the line of seniority to be the Chief Justice of India. Okay, so he does not want to be in any kind of controversy. You see, again, this is a political issue, and we all know what is the problem here. So they are being pushed, and they are again taking leave from this. So that's the situation, and now the case is back again with the master of roster, Mr. Chief Justice of India, and again he has to assign this case to some other judge. Another study came regarding the cow's urine. A lot of issues are controversial regarding the cattle, and you see the beef issue is always there, and it's totally political issue. Now a study came from science. They are saying that the cow urine may be adding to global warming because the NOx, nitrogen oxides, which are released in the cow urine, okay, they are 300 times more potential than CO2. CO2 is a greenhouse gas, and CH4 is 20 times more capable, and this NOx is 300 times more capable. So 42.3% is the contribution from the cattle, from the buffalo only 28.1, and from goats only 15%, sheep 9.5, and 4.6 from other species. So this nitro oxide addition, its contribution in the global warming is 42.3% from this cattle. So that's a contradictory thing. And you see, when we are making these targets of climate change, our intended national determined contributions are there, INDCs are there, and this thing is totally against that. and it's a political issue, it's a controversial issue. So this report is a highlight. They may ask you a question regarding this. Next data is regarding the Transparency International. They came up with this corruption perception index, and we have gained 5 points since 2012. So some progress is certainly there, but still we are coming under the pink category of corrupt nations. Okay, here these darker ones are more corrupt and less corrupt are the blue ones. Okay, so there's an issue, and certainly some report is going to come on this issue, so we will discuss that. Next, America's winters, the most severe winter this year after many decades or centuries. And you see, this is the issue of globe. Its polar vortex is there. This polar vortex actually saves the lower latitudes from coming in the influence of these cold, very cold, freezing these cold air masses and these streams. You see, and jet streams are also a big factor here. What are jet streams? From the surface, around 11 to 12 kilometers height, there are very fast moving waves from 150 to 300 kilometers per hour is the speed for these streams, and these are called jet streams, and they move from west to east because Earth moves from west to east. So these are very important contributory in making these weather changes. So these are also a factor, and the climate change is also a linkage in this issue this year, because of some heating of the stratosphere, this polar vortex is divided, and the influence of these cold waves, it is descending to the lower latitudes. And you see, this is the issue, and because of this midwest of America and northeast part of America, it's under total freezing cold. Around minus 20 degrees centigrade is the average temperature, and the city like Chicago, which is there near the Great Lakes, and other cities here, so these are totally frozen. Minus 20 degrees centigrade is the temperature there. Okay, so global temperature is certainly a factor. Climate change is certainly a factor. Arctic issue is always on a highlight, because all are contributory to this particular winter. They are saying, the scientists are saying, this is not a clear evidence, but certainly some apprehensions, some linkages are there. Okay, so that's the issue with this winters. And now the MCQs, try them, put their answer in the comment box in this mains practice question. And this map based question, as I told you, Pacific Rim of Fire. Okay, this year there has been a lot of news regarding these earthquakes and active volcanoes which are present all around this Pacific Rim of Fire. It's a very important, very active boundary where oceanic plate of this Pacific Ocean is subducting under these continental plates. Okay, so that's the issue. That's why it makes this Pacific Rim of Fire, because all around this particular rim active volcanoes are present. So find their names and find their locations. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Saini, and the PDF I upload on this group. So send me a request. I would approve. Thanks a lot.